That
Mm-hmm.
consistency will bring you a lot, that will deliver you so far and will deliver you into the place that
Yes.
make you better. And by that, when you really want to have the self motivation, that you want to build personal resilience, you need to remember that consistency is something that you need to keep. Maybe like you can't
Yes.
always deliver the 5 stars quality of output, but you need to keep
Yes.
delivering the video, the content, the work that you need to deliver. Maybe
Yes.
you are not having the good days every single time. Shits happen every day, but just keep moving. Like
Yeah. What's up, guys? Welcome to Karma Marketing's last content feature with our last but also special Sage. Our monthly theme for this month is on self motivation. So, we're going to be talking about how we can dive into our firmly rooted beliefs within ourselves, what is inner strength, and also what is personal resolution when it comes to overcoming different things and making sure that we get things done. So a lot of it is also understanding your true capability, your drive, your determination, especially through things that life throws at us, whether it's expected challenges or even unexpected challenges. So I have a very special guest today. His name is Benediktus, but we'll call him Ben. I'll have him on the platform to introduce himself. So go ahead, Ben, say hi.
hello everyone, my name is Ben, and now currently I'm working at Bobobox, a smart accommodation solution for everyone in Indonesia, where we
Mhm.
deliver a lot of properties for every traveler that where they can book and have the accommodation that they always wanted in Indonesia finest destinations in a very easy way. In my current work and my current duty, I work as a creative where I create the video for content for Bobobox. And in my past experiences, I also deliver a numerous amount of creative content, especially for video content in Gojek, in Mocha, and in several companies that I've worked before.
Yeah, a true creative. So I am very excited to take a deep dive into what really self motivates you and what your personal resilience is. Just because I know creative people, they have a lot of things going on, they wear a lot of different hats. So would love and super excited to hear your insights onto it. So our topic for this month is a deep dive into self motivation and personal resilience. So let's start with the first question. Number one, Ben, what is your personal definition of self motivation? And could you share some personal examples when it comes to personally motivating yourself, whether it's in life or whether it's in work?
I saw self motivation as a drive, maybe. It's an internal things that lies within you that leads you to take action, that to take everything that you need so you can achieve the goal that you always wanted in life, whether it's in professional life or your personal life.
Mm-hmm.
It keeps you moves forward. It keeps you putting the efforts that you need even though you don't really want to do it. And that
Yeah.
is how I saw self-motivation.
Yeah, because life is a journey, right? So you need
Yeah,
something to keep you going.
sure.
With that said,
That's the point.
with life and also work, what are your personal examples of self motivation? Would you have like a certain tool or like a certain system in place that keeps your drive high or keeps you going?
Okay, I've worked and created video content for numerous amount of industry that needs video
Mhm.
content, and I really want every single audiences that watch my video are moved, are captivated, that are motivated to use the product that I've presented, that they can
Mhm.
feel something out of it. There are days when I make the video. Okay. There are days when I can't deliver videos in my standard. There are days when I can't
Yeah.
write the script as I've expected before. There are days
Yeah.
when I rendered the video and I don't feel like, I think it's not good enough. But
Yeah, it's not
self-motivation,
100%.
yeah, it's not, that's the point. Like, it's not 100% correct every time. There are days that I,
Yeah.
fail to predict, fail to read the expectation, fail to read what people really wants on the video, and I fail to deliver the video as expected. But the motivation of delivering the best content that possible to create, that moves people, that motivate people, is something that keeps me consistent on the journey. Whether when everything goes wrong, it keeps me keep walking on the journey that I've believed before. And that's how I see self-motivation in my professional work.
Yeah, I think it's great that you put out that when it comes to self-motivation, things don't always go as planned. And I guess like with creatives as well, I know a lot of the problem is facing perfectionism. Perfectionism is really the enemy when it comes to, getting things done just because you get caught up on the little details like, oh, like the caption's wrong or like this is not the best picture. So then it tends to discourage a lot of people from actually moving forward. And I think it's important to just put out there that it's really normal to not have the perfect output when it comes to work, when it comes to life. The most important thing when it comes to self motivation is understanding that you need to get things done. So, whether it's not the perfect output, you just need to continue, adapt to whatever you have, and make the most out of it. Awesome. So, on to the next question. With your personal example of adaptability, flexibility, or even just understanding that, perfectionism is just not going to be the best self motivation, what are your greatest insights to maintaining self motivation? Because I know you mentioned that your personal motivation when it comes to putting out creative content is making sure that the product is being best shown, or at least having people feel inspired or actually motivated to actually buy the product. So, with that, would you say purpose or maybe even putting out the best content is your greatest motivation, or would you have any other insights to self motivation?
Okay, the motivation of making video that moves people is something that I use as a self motivation. And by that, I will always focus on one goal: to make the video that move people. That is something
Yeah.
that you always to stick every single time. You have to stick on that direction every single time. And by
Mm-hmm.
that, you will make it into a more actionable task to do. Let's say you want to make 3 videos in a week, then you have to know what kind of scripts that you need to write, what kind of video that you need to record, what kind of stuffs that you need to prepare. And by
Yeah.
that, you can do every single time in a very more practical way. You are not like, if you had perfection, or maybe if you saw things too big in front of you, you will be get scared out of it. You need to do
Yeah.
things in a more little scale, in a smaller scale. But if you do it every single day, every single time, you will get into the goal that you always wanted, closer every single day. And that is something
Yeah.
that I've done before. So I can,
Yeah.
for that self motivation, I can always moving in the direction that I always expected.
Yeah, like can I just say too, when it comes to self motivation, there are really just going to be days where you're really just not going to feel motivated. Like you're
Yeah,
personally, you will fail yourself. Like you can't just always tell yourself that no, you can do it and you're going to get things done. That's
yeah,
why it's great that you put out it's good to put in the little steps because you need to put systems in place. When you yourself are failing to motivate yourself, you have your systems, you have your built-in routines to kind of tell you what to do next. Like, okay, if I feel like this, what else can I do? Well, I have this, I have like the checklist of what I need to do. I just need to finish the checklist.
yeah. And that's what people should have. in creative industry and in creative work. That will be really helpful to make them closer to the goals that they've made.
Yeah. Self-motivation is definitely a strategy. When it comes to maintaining self-motivation, you need a plan in place, you need systems, you need a checklist, whatever it is, you need something to look back on when it
Yeah,
comes to making sure that you're getting things done. Otherwise, you get overwhelmed and then you just focus on feeling horrible. The stress eats you up. I can just imagine the number of clients that just ask you for the deadlines and then you're like, this is not like the main thing we wanted to highlight. It gets a lot, like it gets too much. So having something to look back on, whether it's a list, whether it's a system, it will help keep things in place.
perfect. I believe on that too.
Yeah, and you also mentioned purpose, and I think that is the most important thing when it comes to self motivation is understanding your clarity or understanding your why. Why are you in this industry? Why are you doing the things that you're doing? And even though you're stressed, even though life is throwing so much challenges, why are you going through those challenges? I think is what is the biggest factor when it comes to motivating yourself. With self-motivation, we also talk about personal resilience. So why do you think personal resilience is also important when it comes to self-motivation?
It is really important because in creative process in this industry, everything is just hard delivery that we've already expected. And like having personal resilience is something that makes you consistent and keep on track on the
Mm,
result that you've always wanted. This is something,
yeah,
like that moves you when everything's just go, down and you keep moving. This is something that make you keep creating content and not, like, because sometimes deadline makes you drives you crazy and you can't think anymore. You can't deliver the content that
yeah, I
you've
can
always wanted.
imagine.
And
Yeah. I think it's important to understand that personal resilience is shifting the mindset of understanding that you are capable of overcoming or going through anything that life has to throw at you. So even with creative processes, even though you feel super stressed and you feel like it's so hard to do, personal resilience is literally you saying that you can overcome it, even though it's hard to do. Yeah, so on to the last question, which is what would be your personal and also most important advice to anyone that's trying to maintain self motivation or anyone that's building personal resilience into their life or into their work?
I see my personal life, my professional work, and also my hobby, which is running, have a very similar approach. That
Mhm.
consistency will bring you a lot, that will deliver you so far and will deliver you into the place that
Yes,
make you better. And by that, when you really want to have the self-motivation, that you want to build personal resilience, you need to remember that consistency is something that you need to keep. Maybe like you can't
yes,
always deliver the 5 stars quality of output, but you need to keep
yes,
delivering the video, the content, the work that you need to deliver. Maybe
yes,
you are not having the good days every single time. Shits happen every day, but just keep moving. Like
yeah,
you just need to keep the effort, putting more time, putting more work on the things that you love, on professional
yeah.
work or on your own personal life, and it will brings you closer to the goal that you really want to achieve.
Yeah, I think that's beautiful. I really believe in compound effect, where the accumulation of the little things will eventually lead you to the same bigger or 100% goal that you have in your mind. And that's why it's so important, stay grateful for the little steps that you take, whether it's just 1% more of today, that's still 1% closer to your goal. And I think it's like super cheesy, but always follow that quote, trust the process. As long as you stay consistent, as long as you remember your whys, you will definitely achieve the things that you want to do.
Yes, I'm agree with that. Maybe sounds cheesy, but it is the reality that we need to face, you know, to keep moving
Yeah.
forward. All you need to do is to putting more effort on little baby steps that you take every single day.
Yeah, completely agree. Thank you so much, Ben, for hopping on and just sharing your insights when it comes to self motivation. I hope whoever's listening right now, in terms of this content feature, hope you gained a little nugget of wisdom. And most importantly, I just want to say happy holidays. Karma Marketing Team is always so grateful for everyone that's tuning in. Love and light always. Karma Marketing.